Do you remember when Valorant first came out and they said in Project A, shooting matters?
Project A is our character-based tactical shooter. It's competitive. It has precise gunplay.
This is what Valorant used to look like.
As well, so the operator's out of the picture. Caboose. Oh, no! Caboose! That's insane!
Oh my God. Looking to make this one happen for his team. An amazing round. He's going to make it a 4K quadra.
And this is what Valorant looks like now.
Like, what is this? Look at this chat! Let's rush the bomb site. Blue wall. Raining smoke. Nami ult. I don't know what that is. Nasus E all over the site. Incoming nukes. Nukes dropping down. Wall. Pushing over the rocket with rocket launcher flying over. Insane splash grenade. Laser beam from the sky. This guy can't see anything. He sees blue. This guy sees yellow. He sees something. He's flash. This guy peeks. A kill. I can see. I can't see. This guy's casting a spell. More smokes. More rain. More lasers from the sky. Green. This guy's a dog. Sniper. And then the site's taken.
I feel like somewhere along the way, Valorant kind of lost the plot when they said gunplay matters. I mean, just look at this bomb site unbind. This is, yeah, well, what's going on here? When do I get to shoot my gun? Obviously, the clip that I just showed is a little bit older. With the recent addition to like Tejo, the game is much more chaotic when it comes to util. But I think this is one of the most fitting clips that showcases just how chaotic Valorant is now. Yeah, how's it going? Flexinja here. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. It is currently day 16 of March Madness. I'm going to be uploading a new Valorant video every single day this month. In today's video, we take a trip to the past where Valorant was a much more simple game to play, in my opinion, much more enjoyable. I'll be showcasing very old clips from when Valorant first released in the closed beta, and before you all knew me as Flexinja. These were the true glory days of Valorant. And with any game that's kind of new, the glory days will always be the days that you first, fall in love with the game. This will be a commentary video of how I feel when Valorant first came out compared to how Valorant is nowadays with all the changes and additions to the game. Valorant has become something of a tactical first-person shooter to something that sort of feels like as chaotic as Overwatch, I'd say. I will say Valorant early on wasn't super balanced as Jett had the right-click reset on her knives and Ray's utility was nothing short of overpowered, but the game felt pretty clean to play. And when I say clean, it wasn't super cluttered with utility to the point where you could still see your screen, you could actually shoot your gun, and you wouldn't have to deal with like trying to dodge 7 different status effects per rounds, like suppresses, stuns, slows, and all that. I recently saw a tweet from Vitality Safe. I don't know if I pronounced his name right, but it read that Valorant promised gunfights will decide, but recently I just feel overwhelmed by the sheer amount of util. During chamber meta, at least people got to aim and play traditional shooter. Now good luck seeing your screen some rounds. Even a Rioter on the balance team, Riot Penguin, agrees that the utility in Val feels just a bit too much and said, for what it's worth, the balance team generally agrees with this take. We're investigating ways to make this better, but we're too early to commit any details to get into the specifics, unfortunately. Valorant has become more and more complex of a game as it's evolved, and they need to find a new and innovative way when it comes to agent releases that brings the hype. And along with the addition of Tejo, yeah, they definitely brought the hype, but it adds so much complexity to the game that, I mean, some rounds just feel unplayable, unfun. And with these recent additions, what's the point of aiming and having actual gunfights when it becomes obsolete, when you just get spammed out from utility? Valorant is facing the same problem other games face, such as like League of Legends. When these games were new, things were fresh and didn't feel super chaotic, but as time goes on, with every new agent or champion release, it feels all their kits are overloaded with what they do, and this can have a detrimental effect with how the game plays out. There are memes that exist in the League community where it shows 2 different champions, one from the early days and one from the present day. In the one from the early League days, the abilities are explained in one sentence, and the champions released now just have an entire paragraph per ability, which is just crazy to think about. I feel as though Valorant is going down that route. Agents feel more overloaded than usual, and in attack FPS like Valorant, where you usually need to defend bomb sites, it can be tough not to get run over by pure utility usage rather than participating in gunplay. Some games feel as though if you're not permanently playing retake, you're trolling. Good players are often rendered inconsistent due to the sheer volume of utility that can be thrown at them. Sure, you could always position better, but there are some games that it's super inevitable that you get util spam like 10 rounds in a row, leaving you question if gunplay actually exists at all. But if you think about the early Valorant, the game wasn't super overloaded with utility. Like I mentioned before, the only real exception in my opinion was like Raze having 2 grenades, 2 satchels that did 75 each, an overpowered ult, and a Ruma that lasted incredibly long and just got too much info. Raze was absolutely broken back then, but is now in a pretty decent spot, I'd say. But at that time, the game felt more enjoyable and way less chaotic to play. In my opinion, there weren't so many agents that had punishing synergy energies with each other. And then you have to think some agents, like Omen, were absolutely trash to play and was just so underpowered. His blind was skinny, it casted instantly, he teleported painfully slow, and you couldn't even cancel his ult, which is funny to think about how Omen on release compared to now. If he were to fit into this game on release, oh my god, it's like, yeah, it would just feel horrible to play old Omen in its current day Valorant. One thing I forgot to mention is that throwing smokes, I don't think there was a second smoke phase, so you always had to like kind of guess where your smoke's gonna go. I mean, you could see on the mini-map and stuff, but you didn't actually get the smoke phase transition to see, like, you know, the first person of actually placing it. Like, say if you're pushing split, you want to throw a smoke heaven, you could travel to heaven and place the smoke. The only thing you could do is like see the arrow through the walls and then place it, which was, yeah, Omen was in a rough spot, let's just say that. When Valorant first released, a Riot CEO, Nicolo, stated, "To be clear, in Project A, shooting matters. You don't kill with abilities. Abilities create tactical opportunities to take the right shot. Characters have abilities that augment their gunplay instead of fighting directly with their abilities." This statement became an absolute meme in the community, as this was just not the case as the game kept progressing and utility became more prevalent. Utility that just also does damage. It kills people. Well, players. My bad. People use this caption over a Raze alt ace clip, and it would just be hilarious. It's like, oh cool. You don't actually kill with abilities, and then boom, you just get an insta alt ace off of one util. And I think that's funny. That's absolute cinema. Like most games on release, most people find themselves enjoying the game, you know, at the beginning because the community is still kind of learning the game. It doesn't feel super sweaty to play, and players are genuinely having fun. But if you move forward now, it seems as though people don't actually play a game like Valorant to have fun anymore, as it's just not refreshing to play. And as you guys know, the community can be really toxic, and I think a lot of the toxicity stems around the game feeling like a chore to play more than anything. And it's been the same game with the same spinning gun buddy for the past 4 years now, with no incentives to grind for. I feel like I can't mention Valorant fun and without mentioning the spinning gun buddy, because it's just like the game hasn't really changed. Maybe players are more upset and crabby nowadays because of all the constant utility they have to deal with, and in my opinion that can suck the fun of the game, which is completely understandable. Since Valorant themselves agree that the utility spam in the present day 2025 is just like the most overwhelming thing, I'm hoping they find a way to combat it to make the game seem more about the promised gunplay that they said at the start of Valorant's release. I'm not exactly sure how they managed to fix this issue in a healthy way, but hey, I'm as optimistic as the replay system that they said they're working on, XD. So I had this idea in my head about how they could fix the util spam, but I'm not sure if this would just go over well. I was thinking they could simply add a cooldown to certain like spammable abilities such as like flashes and fade dogs, so you just can't spam your entire kit within 2 seconds and just simply win by overwhelming the enemy rather than relying on your gunplay and aim. I'm not sure if this would make the game feel clunky to play, but I think it could be a solid change of how the game plays out, since you have to now coordinate your util usage more rather than relying on the power of spam. For example, if like Fade uses her dog, she would simply have to wait 4 or 5 seconds to do the second one. She would still have the second one, she just has to wait that little few seconds to use the second one. So it's not as spammy. And same goes for like flashes like Breach Flash, KO Flash, all that. I mean, this is just my idea. This could be the worst idea of all time. Let me know what you guys think about this. But I could see this definitely hurting the game as a whole, making some agents not only less fun to play, but a large enough nerf to like the agent environment, making some agents not even worth playing at all. With that said, I don't even think the spammable abilities like flashes and dogs are like the main problem. The main problem is like with the recent additions to like of Teo and his missiles, the game actually feels kind of unfair to play. You have an ability that instantly clears 2 angles like on a site, on top of having to dodge flashes, stuns, drones, damaging abilities, and so on. And it feels like you're just permanently on retake duty. If you don't try to play retake, you might just die on site. There's just so many overlaying abilities in this game now. With the sites being incredibly small in most case scenarios, it just feels overwhelming to the point where it's unreasonable as a defender. You just get flushed out with util or just die. Like if you really think about it, as a defender, that's not your bomb site that you're defending. The enemy team owns that bomb site, and they've already listed it on Airbnb, and now you have to pay the price to visit that bomb site again, is what I'm trying to break it down to. I mean, Valorant is totally just a different game to play now than it used to be. That pretty much like sums up me yapping about the utility usage. You guys can, I could talk about this all day, but you guys get the idea that Valorant is not the same game that it used to be. There's far too much utility in the game, even Riot agrees with it. Kind of just summing up the video. Just moving along, one thing that I really miss when playing Valorant is just goofing around with my friends, not taking the game too seriously. It's weird that Valorant became a hobby of mine, turned it into my career for the past 4 years. And it's definitely shifted my mindset when it comes to playing the game. Not in the best way either. My goal is to have more fun with Valorant in the future, win or lose, and ultimately play with more friends so I can laugh more while playing. But as of right now, I only play ranked, and the majority of the time is me playing solo queue. I don't really reach out to people as much anymore. I just feel super disconnected from everyone else. You know, over the past few years, since it's like, I feel like I'm stuck in this little world of mine, and I definitely need to connect with more people. So that's definitely one of my goals in the future. Having that goal in mind, it'll help me just make better content, playing with other people, collabing like I used to, and just overall having more fun. It's weird. Sometimes I contradict myself as a person, because I bitch and complain about this game, because I'm really competitive, so I want to win every single game, but I bitch and complain about the game being repetitive to the point where it's like there's no point to grind ranked or like win because there's no incentives. So with that mindset, I feel like I should just drop the whole, like, who cares if we win? I mean, sometimes it's just not even up to me. Sometimes you just get bad teammates. Sometimes you get people no comment running it down. It is what it is. I should just try to learn and have fun with it despite the outcome, despite the pixel rank on my screen. Like, who cares about that? I've already hit Radiant several times. Like, why do I have to keep proving myself? I should just have fun, make content, make people laugh, and have a good time. You know? And speaking about my goals, what are some of your goals with Valorant in the future, and what do you hope Valorant changes to make the game more enjoyable? Let me know in the comment section down below. That pretty much wraps up this video. I'm Flexinja, and thank you for letting me yap your ears off. Have a great day or night, wherever you're all from. Much love, and peace.